ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
Good evening. Welcome to RTA News. Today is Friday, September 12, 2025. Thanks for joining us. Maulawi Abdul Kabir, Minister of Refugees and Repatriations, held a farewell meeting with Takashi Kurumiya, Japan's ambassador in Kabul. In this meeting, the Japanese ambassador in Kabul described the Islamic Emirates' efforts against drugs, corruption, and providing security as effective and added that the world and the Islamic Emirates should cooperate in recognizing the current government of Afghanistan. He also, referring to the long-standing relations between Kabul and Tokyo, stated that Japan has provided millions of dollars in humanitarian aid to Afghans over the past 4 years and will provide further humanitarian assistance to those in need before the onset of winter. Meanwhile, the Minister of Refugees and Repatriation, while acknowledging the effectiveness of the Japanese ambassador mission in Kabul, emphasized that despite numerous problems and challenges, the Islamic Emirate has been able to carry out its duties effectively. A trade meeting between Kazakhstan's National Food Contract Corporation and Afghanistan's private sector was held with the participation of Nuruddin Azizi, Minister of Industry and Commerce, and Gizat Akbasov, Kazakhstan's ambassador in Kabul. In this meeting, Nuruddin Azizi emphasized the importance of expanding trade relations between the two countries, adding that the Ministry of Industry and Commerce is working to create the necessary conditions to raise the level of trade between the two countries to $3 billion. The Ministry of Industry and Commerce says that trade agreements worth more than $133 million have been signed between Afghanistan's private sector and Kazakhstan's National Food Contract Corporation. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, traveled to Qatar yesterday following the recent Israeli attack on the political office of the Islamic resistance movement Hamas in Doha, the capital of Qatar. According to the Reuters, leaders of Oman and Saudi Arabia are also expected to travel to Qatar in the coming days. Maulana Fazl Rahman, leader of the Islamic Scholars Association and member of Pakistan's National Assembly, in a meeting with Maulavi Sardar Ahmad Shakib, the ambassador of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan in Islamabad, expressed sympathy with the victims of the recent earthquake in the country and also prayed for the souls of those who lost their lives in the incident. The Embassy of Afghanistan in Pakistan stated that during this meeting, bilateral relations, existing opportunities, and other relevant issues were also discussed. Mullah Nuruddin Turabi, director of the National Disaster Management Authority, signed a joint cooperation agreement worth over $120,000 with the director of Razi Development and Social Organization during the meeting. The National Disaster Management Authority says that under this agreement, cash assistance will be distributed to more than 1,000 needy families in various districts of Herat city. Sheikh Shahabuddin Dilawar, Director General of the Afghan Red Crescent Society, met with Katrina Ritz, head of the RCIC in Afghanistan, and Jay Singhal, head of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, to discuss the coordination of humanitarian aid for the earthquake victims in Kunar. The Afghan Red Crescent Society says that in this meeting it was emphasized that humanitarian aid for the earthquake victims in Kunar province should be provided according to the categories of their needs. The leadership of the Ministry of National Defense honored the Air Force personnel of the ministry and the medical staff of the 400-bed Sardar Muhammad Dawood Khan Hospital and the members of the 201st Khalid bin Walid Army Corps who had shown bravery in helping and rescuing earthquake victims in the east of the country. At this ceremony, Maulawi Muhammad Yaqub Mujahid, Minister of National Defense, assured that the country's air and ground forces are the services of the people and will stand by them under the circumstances. The Directorate of Disaster Response and Firefighting calls on the owners of companies, markets and filling stations and high-rise buildings to have prevention equipment available in order to prevent fires. The officials of this directorate also ask citizens to clear the way when they hear the fire alarms so the firefighting teams can reach the fire site on time. Here is the report.
The Directorate of Disaster Response and Firefighting says that its efforts to prevent and reduce incidents are ongoing. According to officials of this directorate, public awareness on various methods has been provided to the owners of commercial and residential companies. They emphasize that hiring professional personnel, along with providing fire prevention equipment, can serve as guardians of commercial centers, fuel stations, and residential areas in times of incidents.
Officials from fuel sellers unions, gas sellers unions, the wholesale market union, clothing sellers, food sellers, and money exchangers all have their respective unions. We ask them to observe these guidelines and ensure that people are committed to following them.
The Director of Disaster Response and Firefighting calls on citizens to dial 101 of this directorate in case of fire, so that the necessary measures can be taken on time and the fire can be prevented from spreading.
We also request our fellow citizens to first have fire extinguishers on hand and immediately contact emergency fire services. Additionally, they can contact us through intelligence or police channels. When you hear the fire alarm, please clear the way.
Meanwhile, a number of traders consider having fire prevention equipment in supermarkets, companies, fuel tanks, and high-rise buildings effective for protecting their property and assets.
Traders or market owners where commercial goods are sold or where there is heavy public presence must have the necessary fire prevention equipment available.
This directorate further adds that in the past 4 years, more than 1,000 central and provincial staff members of this directorate, along with about 5,000 volunteers from private sector and government departments, have graduated from the training center of this directorate after completing capacity building courses.
In the past day, more than 12,000 Afghan migrants have returned to the country from Pakistan through Torkham, Spin Buldak, and Bahramcha along the Durham line. The Ministry of Refugees and Repatriation says that during the same period, more than 3,000 Afghan migrants also returned to the country from Iran through Islam Qala and Silk Road. More than 180 Afghan citizens have been released from prisons in Pakistan and have returned to the country. The Ministry of Refugees and Repatriation says that after being registered and receiving humanitarian assistance, these individuals were transferred to their home areas. That was all for tonight. Thanks for being with us. For more updates, follow us online. Good night.
دادا باتورانو کور دادا باتورانو کور دادا باتورانو کور دادا باتورانو کور ساتوي پسرو وینو دادا شهیدانو کور